right? But now, suddenly, his brain has the capacity to learn the plays. Do you see what's happening here? This is a pivot. And it's not just a pivot so he can get out there and play. It's the pivot about the philosophy of why he was being held back.
But I think they still want to give Dillon some time. Now he's got to make some points out there. He's got to produce and generate some touchdown passes. But for now, I think the status quo will be maintained.
All right. So Dillon has us going. So now the organization is trying to pivot away from Dillon, because if he played with the Patriots, I think everybody knows the Patriots game is not going to be easy. And if he didn't score no points against Miami, I don't know how the hell he going to score points against the Patriots unless the Patriots help him out, which is not out of the question because Philly, right? And hell, Philly done helped out the Browns and Philly done helped out the Giants. But see, here's what happens. Once the team helps and moves on, they got to play somebody else. So Miami helped. The refs helped Dillon. Well, now they got to play the Patriots, right? So I'm going to let this go back from the beginning, and I'm going to just let it play. I'm not going to interject. Shedeur is good because when I heard her, she's actually lying on him. She's lying on him, and she, in my opinion, she's insinuating he couldn't learn, but now he can learn. He couldn't learn the plays, but now he can learn. The reason they said he could learn is because black quarterbacks can't lead. Black quarterbacks can't comprehend. Black quarterbacks have a lower cognitive functioning than white people. They were asserting race norming in the Cleveland Browns organization against Shedeur Sanders to hold him back. And now he can learn. But they're lying and insinuating that he can't read defenses. We knew he could read defenses before he left Colorado. So they're pivoting, not just so he could play, but so they could cover their own AZZ. This is about suits, ladies and gentlemen.
Look good. They're not going to give up on him too quickly. And that would probably open up a can of worms for them if they start throwing Shedeur in there, even in spot duty right now. So I'm not really feeling that or really seeing it. But I will say this. In practice, Shedeur Sanders has been making a ton of progress. He looks really good. I've been saying this over and over again. If you put Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel side by side or one after the other in a 7-on-7 red zone drill, I think that Shedeur would probably win that drill much of the time. Or if you put them up against each other in a pockets drill where you're throwing the ball into the little pockets in the net, I think Shedeur would win that a lot of the time. But there are so many other things that you have to do. You have to be able to protect yourself. You have to be able to read the defense. You have to be able to call the play, slide the protections, manage the motions, and do all those things. He's coming up the learning curve very, very quickly. And
I'm going to stop it right there. You see, they lying on the kid. You see, this is the lie. I'm telling you, that's going to sink this organization. Do you hear what she is saying? He has to be able to learn to protect himself. Why? When can he not protect himself? When Stefanski set him up with the Goon Squad? Because we saw him protect himself with the Browns. Protect yourself, and instead of throwing a deep ball, you have an O-line that is sorry, so you need to be a game manager and check down, check down, check down. That's how he has to protect himself. You have to recognize that your O-line is incompetent because they didn't draft nobody. I'm telling you, her talking and what she's saying is what's going to sink this organization. I see him trying to pivot. They're not trying to pivot so he can get out there and play so they can make money. They trying to cover their own butt because in the summer, they said he couldn't learn because people have pointed out that Stefanski acts like he has a personal grievance against Shedeur because they weren't developing Shedeur. Because what did Troy Aikman say? The Browns have a franchise QB riding on the bench. So now I sent her out here to tell you why he was riding on the bench, because he can't learn. But now he done made a ton of progress. But the things that she's saying he had to learn, he already knew. And the Cleveland Browns even said the sacks that Shedeur took, a lot of it was environmental. So you can't hold that against him and say he don't know how to protect himself. At the same time, she delivering this spin right here, this pivot right here. Other people are saying, now Shedeur is going to play after the bye week. By tomorrow, he's going to be playing in a Patriots game. Like I said. Because she's saying they can't put in Shedeur because they going to get into some hot water, open up a can of worms. They going to end up and open up a can of worms because Shedeur is your backup quarterback. Do the Browns really have time, if winning is the goal, to be out here worried about Dylan's damn feelings? To give him more time to do what? Give him more time to do what? He already scored one touchdown against what? The Green Bay Packers or something? Give him more time for what? They already say he's not going to be the guy next year. What are we giving him time to do? It's conversations like this that's going to take down this organization. And they think they put it on Shedeur by saying he needs to learn how to carve defenses. Lying on this kid, because that's what she's doing. She knows that Shedeur is a good quarterback. Lying on this kid is what's going to take this organization down. No need to lie. If you didn't want him, don't draft him. But to say his skill set is outdated is a damn lie. When you go get Flacco, or when Josh Allen is being converted to exactly what Shedeur is, a so-called pocket passer with mobility. It's lies like this that's going to take the NFL down. So when I say the NFL is in shambles, it's because of pivots like this. Nobody's dumb. I don't know who it is that they think are dumb. I don't know who they sent her to tell this to. And maybe there's some people out there that believe he's truly not a good quarterback, but I doubt it. Because the people that say Shedeur is not a good quarterback don't want to see black quarterbacks succeed at the helm of any NFL team unless they can digest the level of melanin in their skin. And that's what it is. So it's lies like this. This is the kind of defamation this kid has had to endure. So you see why it's important for him to know that God has the final say. Because I don't know how you put up with this every day. I don't know how you put up with somebody lying on your skill set. I damn sure don't know how you put up with somebody who was going to hire you for $46 million. And then when they get you for $4 million, they lying on you and saying you're not good. You already devalued me money-wise. So now you're trying to break me down mentally. Thank God you can't break me spiritually. This is a bold-faced lie that Mary Cabot is telling. And I will tell her to her face. This is a bold-faced lie. He's coming along. He was good from day one. He just had to learn the plays. This is shameful. It is shameful to sit up here and want to pivot to this young man because the guy you put in front of him to hold him back is exactly who you thought he was. And you lied on Shedeur the whole way. And you set him up once in the Panthers game to get hurt and again in the Rams game to be humiliated. This is what defamation looks like. So yeah, they're pivoting to cover themselves. And somebody pointed out that Shedeur playing the last 4 games, come rain or shine, or hell, after the bye week, playing the last 4 games ensures that he'll play through what could be the worst weather of the season. So I took a look at the 2024 games, the last 4 games. It was like Baltimore and some other teams. But honestly, it was just cold. It wasn't snowing. It might have been a little windy. The guys had their hands in their pocket fillers, their muffler thingies. But there was no snow. It was sunny. So I was thinking Colorado. That's what it was given, right? I know there was one game that Jameis Winston played in the snow. I don't know when it was, but I think it was the Bengals for sure in Baltimore at the end of the 2024 schedule that were home games. And from what I saw, it was given Colorado cold, sunny, and possibly windy. So yeah, he has the hardest stretch if it's the last 4. He also has potentially bad weather to overcome as well. So are they doing him a favor by putting him out there last? No, they have to play him. They're not doing him any favors. Now, if he pops up in this Patriots game and she insists that they would open up a can of worms, I don't know how you open up a can of worms when you put your backup in. And it tells you that they having conversations, because I said it last week. How is it every other backup could get out here and play but Shedeur? Oh, we're going to open up a can of worms. And what exactly is the label on the can of worms? You opening up a can of worms by telling us that, because we wondered why the hell it is he the only backup that can't play. So you intentionally restricting his movement. You're intentionally losing games. You're intentionally going to use Quinshon Judkins as a workhorse because you don't want to go to Shedeur, because you don't want to open up a can of worms. Thank you for that. Because now you want to know what's in the can of worms. So shout out to these young men for being able to gravitate towards God and let God lead, because see, now it takes away the ability for the NFL to disrupt the Black experience in the NFL, because you can't control me. And I don't think they like that. I think this is precisely why Justin Fields is getting so much flack. They want him to be in shambles and cry. He like, hey, if this is God's will for me, this is what it is. And here's the thing, right? Tyrod Taylor actually deserves to start. Because what did they do to him? They punctured his lung so he could lose the starting job to Justin Herbert. And he's suing the league currently behind that right now, or the NFL, or the Chargers. And the doctor reportedly still works there. It's interesting they weren't concerned about the doctor puncturing anybody else's lung but Tyrod Taylor's. He deserves to play, just like Spencer Rattler deserves to start. That's who deserves to start. The people who were robbed of starting, just like Shedeur. So they're not doing Shedeur any favors by having him to play 4 games. He has to play 4 games, or he has to play a certain number of games. But don't be surprised if we see him in the Patriots game to come save Dylan. But I'm starting to think they just going to let Dylan drown. That's what this photo is giving.